Hello, folks. Welcome back to Season 6 of Leadership and Innovation Unlocked with Inclusive Collective, where we bring you news and analysis of the latest in people and workplace culture and share stories and learnings of leaders and organizations driving performance and innovation through inclusion. I am your co-host, Nadia Butt, a workplace culture strategist and talent development consultant. And as always, I am here with my friend, my very good friend, Rob Hadley, a people and culture strategist specializing in operational excellence, transformations, and analytics. Rob, season 6. Can you
Where have
believe
you
it?
been? Where were you? I've been sitting here
Have you been just waiting for me?
waiting. No one told me
No one
that this
told
was
you. You
over.
attended.
Yes, yes. Well, yes.
Well, I
So
got married.
you got married. You had the big party, had the big, had the ceremony, but then also the big party.
Yep.
It was the first wedding I'd ever been to where during the toast there was a plug for a podcast,
Oh my
right?
God.
So
Can you believe that? How funny was that?
yeah. So your brother during his toast made a plug for this podcast,
Yeah.
and I actually like kind of signaled to me. You kind of
Yeah. I
waved
like waved over
across
to
the room.
you. I was
A huge
waving.
room,
I feel like you almost took,
waving.
did you stand up and take a bow? Like, I feel like
I
that was
did, and I
basically
was
what.
because I was super embarrassed. I was like, "Hey, it's not about me." So I was like, "Should I
But
stand? Should
isn't
I?
it about you?
What should I do?" I know, right? I know. Let's be honest here. So that was fun. Well,
That was fun.
congratulations. It is amazing to have you
Thank
back. I
you.
mean, what kind of are you gonna have a new perspective on life now? What do you think?
I probably. I mean, I don't know, but it's been a wonderful few months. Just the wedding celebration in general was really amazing and like a little surreal, but we got to celebrate with a lot of friends and family from like different parts of our lives as well as parts of the world. And so am I going to bring something different or am I going to change maybe for the better, for the good? I did marry a very patient person, so
So
hopefully that will rub off on me, but no, definitely one of those core memory experiences. So, yeah, really excited about it.
amazing. Well, congratulations again. I'll
Thank
stop
you.
saying it. We should have a huge spike in listenership
I
after that,
mean, my
after
brother was
that
like,
call.
"Download, review, rate," like it was.
Yeah. No, I was gonna go table to table and get everyone to sign up,
That's right.
but so let's get it started. So this week on innovation, leadership and innovation unlocked, we're gonna dive right back into it. This is a one-time segment. It's just you and me. It's called While Nadia Was Planning a Wedding, right? So we missed a lot of
There's
things.
a lot of
We'll
yeah, a
go
lot of
through a lot of
things.
stories that you and I were dying to talk about, but we couldn't.
Yeah,
So then later we're going to rant and rave. So let's get to the deets.
sure.
Nadia's back edition. Nadia, what do you got for
All
us?
right. So my first news story is honestly one of the like weirdest pivots I've seen in a while. So the company Allbirds, the eco-friendly wool sneaker company that every tech bro wore for like 5 years, announced that they're basically exiting the shoe business and then pivoting into AI infrastructure. So they're essentially like rebranding as New Bird AI, and they're focusing on GPUs and AI cloud services. And the day they announced it, their stock, like, absolutely exploded after the announcement, which also was, like, really interesting. But I will pause there. What's your take on this, Rob?
Well, Nadia, first of all, as the prime target demo for Allbirds,
Do you have all
I
birds?
would like to, I want to let you know that I've never owned a pair of Allbirds, and that makes me sad because they went out of business. Now they're AI, and I don't think I'll own any of their servers.
Yeah.
I do have a Patagonia vest, though.
Oh,
You're right, like the
that I've
teal
seen quite a
Patagonia
number of
vest.
times, actually, yes.
Yeah. So I have that. So I'm not, I have some of the good stuff.
You still have
Um,
the characteristics of the tech bro
yeah,
demeanor.
exactly. I bro out a little bit at
Yeah.
times, right? So, honestly, I don't know why they fell out of favor. Had some hard times, but the AI piece is, and I'm going to talk about this later when I rant. And
Mhm.
I actually heard Kara Swisher use this term the other day.
Uh-huh.
That we're in a grift economy, right? So
Yeah.
it's all about moving from one scam to the other. Obviously, our president is emblematic of this, but
Mhm.
over the last few years, just think about all the things we've seen. So between meme coins and you remember the SPAC craze from a couple of years ago,
Yep.
meme stocks. So
Yep.
now you have shoe
Trump
companies.
phones, I mean, all
That's
of it.
that's just ongoing national nightmare. But the one thing that they have in common is there's no value that's created, right?
Mhm.
There's nothing to help humanity. They just attach themselves to something that can reasonably draw investment or sales. Shares went from, you said, $3 to $17. So just, from my perspective, good luck to the folks that think they're going to make money on this.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's funny because I actually watched the same Kara Swisher episode where she talked about that, and I think we're just in this era where these organizations, like, feel the pressure to prove that they're, like, future ready, and AI
Hmm.
just happens to be that bright, shiny object that everyone wants to feel attached to their brand, at least. I'm just not sure that going from, like, a sneakers company to an AI data center, was on anyone's bingo card, but apparently was on Allbirds, so here we are. Like, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the whole thing is weird, but, why not at this point?
And it's important, right? So every organization should be thinking about how, what AI means to them, how they're going to take
Absolutely.
advantage of that technology.
Yeah.
This is grift, right? Like
Yeah, this is
they just bolting AI onto your company and saying that we're an AI company, right?
right.
And it's literally exactly what they're doing, right?
Yeah,
It couldn't be more obvious. So,
yeah.
well,
What's your
let's
news
talk
story?
about
Yeah.
let's talk about benefits cut. I'm not a newsman, Nadia, so I'm not going to get all these details right.
Okay.
Right?
You don't get
The
all the
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 inside track,
headline,
okay.
yeah, I'm not a newsman. The headline is that Deloitte, along with some other companies, are starting to announce big benefit cuts. So the headline was that Deloitte, the big consultancy, was cutting benefits for workers. But the interesting thing is that they really did was they created a class system of workers. They separated their workers into 4 different groups,
Yeah,
and those in internal support roles, those folks will be losing their benefits. So certain workers are going to lose 5 to 10 days of PTO. Parental leave will be cut in half. IVF benefits go away. Pension accruals are out. So,
yeah.
Nadia, just start with what's the idea of creating
You
a
you
caste
just
system
use
in an
this
organization?
word, "cast," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, what are
Yes.
we doing?" You know, to me, this just feels like such a short-sighted program, right? You have, like, IVF support, adoption assistance, like, if you didn't do the reading, I'll up you, but parental leave, PTO, flexibility, and a lot of these are not just perks anymore, they're, like, very deeply connected to the well-being, to inclusion, to retention, and honestly, at this point, like, whether an actually feels like they're valued at their organization. So, like, cutting, paid family leave from 16 weeks to 8 weeks is already significant. And
Yeah.
then
Is that for
removing
everyone?
Yeah, and then removing
Yeah.
IVF, adoption, surrogacy support. I mean, these are, like, very, like, life-changing and incredibly expensive journeys for people, and so now you're cutting the support, and so I just it's just a reminder, like, companies love to talk about being people first, and then the decisions that they make like this are where employees really start to feel like they start to question, like, what commitment is actually real about when budgets get tight or when expenses are starting to be watched. It's just it's really sad, actually. And then the
Yeah.
caste system. Woof. I think that's what you
Now,
wanna dive deep on.
well, I mean, I think it's a terrible idea. You and I come from this lean operational excellence background where we
Mhm.
have a lot of experience there. So if you were to tell me that you were going to, kind of in an inverted pyramid way, you were going to give more benefits to the folks that are on the front lines of an organization, folks that are actually dealing with
Customers,
customers,
sure.
creating value,
Yeah,
I could get behind it. I could at least think about that,
sure.
because oftentimes that would be your salespeople, your customer support people,
Right.
distribution people, people that actually do a lot of work.
Service,
That's not
yeah.
what this is, though. This is creating a system, and obviously that's not what we're seeing. We're people at the top are still going to get paid very well. They're still going to have access to all these benefits. A certain class will not have access to the benefits. So,
Yeah,
and don't forget, Nadia, these are the people that are advising other companies on how they should be treating their employees, right?
exactly,
So
yeah.
they're saying, hey, we have to drastically reduce benefits to get ahead in this era. It's something that they're going to be telling other people, hey, look at what we did.
Yep,
And so I think it's going to be something that we're going to see over and over again. So I'm not
I
excited
agree.
about it. And I think
No.
it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, same. Okay, Rob, great start to season 6 on our news stories. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more leadership and innovation unlocked.
Hey, it's Rob here. If you're a regular listener, you know it's been no picnic for DEI. Programs are being cut, language is under scrutiny. But if you're a people leader, you're still being held accountable for talent outcomes, legal compliance, and culture. That hasn't changed at all. So, what do? You get smarter, you get more intentional, you let your data do the talking. If that sounds familiar or exciting, Join me and my friend, I guess our friend of the pod, Aparna Ray, on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern for Trust by Design, a weekly 30-minute web series for people leaders that still have to figure stuff out, even if the political ground keeps shifting. Each week, we give you concrete tools and frameworks to embed fairness and inclusion into your operation, use data and AI to make the world more equitable, and help you stay on the right side of the law. So that's Trust by Design. We'll have a link in the podcast notes. Hope to see you all there. Hope to see you there, Nadia.
Hope to be there. Welcome back, folks, to Leadership and Innovation Unlocked. Rob, what other stories do we have this week for our listeners?
Okay, Nadia, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which you know I'm a huge fan of, probably my favorite Court of Appeals. They ruled that a Colorado corrections officer was not subject to a hostile work environment when they were forced to attend, ready for it?
Yep.
DEI training. Yeah. So the worker had been required to attend a training program dealing with racial sensitivity and historical suppression of racial minorities, according to the court. Nadia,
Yeah.
where do you even start with something like this?
I don't know. When I read this, I was like, here we go again. I don't know. I think that this continues to highlight the tension, right, that we're seeing around DEI and the conversations in the workplaces. It's interesting that now it's been in the legal setting in court cases. This was an interesting case. I think that organizations should obviously continue to create spaces to talk about bias and talk about inclusion, talk about historical inequities. But I also think how these conversations are facilitated matter a lot. And so if people, again, I'm not suggesting that this person felt ashamed or attacked or silenced, but if people are leaving feeling shamed or attacked or silenced, I think that can really risk losing the very dialogue that we're trying to create. So, at the same time, discomfort alone is not discrimination. So, I think that distinction is really important in this particular case.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think I was going to say the same thing, right? Let's be open to this person, right? We know that some of the training has been done poorly, right? So anytime a company is undertaking something like racial sensitivity training, they have to be doing it with experts. They have to know why they're doing it, right?
Right.
So there's a little bit of irony here, Nadia. I think that, I don't know if you caught it, that the worker objected to terms like white fragility, and then filed a lawsuit because they were forced to hear about racial injustice. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
And it's not over, as the Supreme Court is going to be hearing these cases. And so, we know the Supreme Court has kind of a naive take on race relations. So we'll see. I don't think it's over. And I think that we'll probably be hearing this stuff again.
Yeah, a lot more of it too. Yep. So let's go into my final news story here. So a Virginia woman pleaded guilty to wire fraud after admitting that she exploited federal telework policies by secretly working multiple full-time jobs at once. So prosecutors said she kept at least 3 laptops open simultaneously. This person might be my hero. She kept at least 3 laptops open simultaneously to appear active, and then submitted time cards totaling nearly 120 hours during a standard 40-hour work week. And the scheme reportedly lasted about 3 years and involved several federal agencies along with a private company. The story has really gone viral because critics are using it as an example of remote work gone wrong, and then arguing that it proves telework lacks accountability and oversight. Would love your reaction to this.
I'm not sure what the problem is, Nadia. The irony of wanting people at all times to be more productive, the fact that millions of jobs will be replaced because humans aren't productive enough. But this woman, right,
Yeah.
presumably using tech to enhance her own productivity, right? And all of a sudden it's a big deal. It's also brought up for me the fact that with AI, jobs might not go away, but they'll look somewhat different, right? So instead of a 40-hour-a-week job, people might have 3 15-hour-a-week jobs. It's kind of what I do. It might be what you do, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So we should think about how that looks. It does also speak to poor job design,
Yeah.
right? We've all had jobs where, we're being paid for 40 hours and there's really only 25 hours of work there.
Mhm.
And then finally, the other thing I thought about was Doge. Remember Doge?
Oh,
Right?
I remember. How can you forget Doge?
that federal workers are lazy. And this person was doing three jobs. So I would
Yeah.
just want to go on the record and say this person was not lazy, right?
Yeah. And, like, listen, we're not advocating for, like, exchange of, like, confidentiality, like, information in the job role, but, like, this person was, like, crushing it. So, okay, what's the problem here? But my take too is like if one supposed bad actor shouldn't define like millions of remote workers who are actually like very productive and doing their jobs really well, right? Like you said, like every workplace model, whether it's remote or hybrid or in person, or if there's like different hours, they're going to have people who abuse the system. Like, stories like
Right.
this absolutely become fuel for leaders who already distrust flexibility and remote work. So to me, the bigger question is whether organizations are measuring actual outcomes and performance of an employee. And that's kind of how you base performance, right? Or how you performance impact. But here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. And you obviously took it more seriously than I did. But I like your answer better. I like your take on that better. So
Great.
so that's going to be the deets for this week. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back with our rants and raves. Stay with us.
Are you an HR leader or operations leader looking to strengthen leadership, improve organizational effectiveness, navigate change, or build a more inclusive and people centered workplace culture? That's exactly the work we support organizations in through leadership development, coaching, organizational effectiveness, change management, and inclusive workplace strategy. Nadia Butt here. I'm the founder of NAS Consulting LLC, where I partner with organizations using a data informed and evidence based approach through assessments, strategy, coaching, and training. We also offer coaching services for professionals and doctoral students navigating leadership growth, career transitions, confidence building, and the dissertation journey. If you'd like to learn more or explore working together, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or email me directly at nadia@nasconsultants.com. Welcome back, Rob. We'd like to wrap things up here with something we call raves and rants. And you got the rants, so you get to go first.
Okay, awesome. All right, Nadia. So we talked about this a little earlier. But one thing that I noticed this week was that in the US, according to Oxfam, CEO pay increased about 20 times faster than workers' wages in the past year. So average CEO pay went up 25%. This was taken from 24 to 2025, while the average workers' pay grew at just over 1%. And so this is just incredibly self-defeating and irresponsible, and I think dangerous to the CEOs themselves. A wise leader would always realize that if you just take and take and take, it's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, I was in Versailles in January. Have you been?
No.
It's well, it's a French palace. It's absolutely dripping in gold.
Yeah.
And you may know that it was eventually stormed by a mob and Marie Antoinette lost her head. I don't know if
Mhm.
you're familiar with that story,
Yeah.
but so you would think that our leaders would be wary of this, but instead, at a time when people can't afford food or gas, boards are voting themselves and their CEOs giant pay raises. State legislatures in the South are literally gerrymandering Black voters out of any kind of representation.
Mhm.
Here in Utah, billionaires are trying to build a data center that will generate so much heat that it will raise temperatures by 20 degrees.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've been here, Nadia. It's
It's
a freaking
already so
desert. So
hot.
like if it's 20 degrees, we would all just like
Melt.
fall over and die.
Yeah.
So people are being pushed to the brink. It's all short-sighted grift. It's just so dangerous. So please stop.
Yeah. That's a good rant. That's probably one of your better rants, by the way. But
Thank
let's
you.
end this week on a positive note. So my rave this week is very wholesome. Lego celebrated Sir David Attenborough's 100th birthday by temporarily changing the age range on its boxes from 4 to 99 to 4 to 100 plus, with the message there's no age limit for those who never stop playing. I just love this story. It's funny, it's thoughtful. It's just a really great reminder that curiosity and creativity and joy don't expire with age.
I love that. You really brought it back up.
I did.
And you know that I hate age limitations, right? Right.
You
Like,
do hate
you know,
age
my
limitations.
my
And we
take
love
on
Lego. My niece loves Lego, by the way. So does my husband.
who I don't know if you remember, Nadia, that I was like the lone voice, like saying, "Hey, this Joe Biden guy, he's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
you were.
he's gonna do fine."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
And
were.
that takes looking stronger and stronger these days, right?
Oh my gosh.
All right, Nadia. Well, thanks for bringing it back up. We'll close it out. Leadership and Innovation Unlocked is a production of Inclusive Collective Media and edited by the one and only Ari Mathay. We would love to hear from you. Love when you send us emails. Send us your feedback at inclusivecollectivepodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, probably more this year. We're going to be, the socials are going to be, we're going to be firing all cylinders there.
All right.
If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe and rate us wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to share us with your friends and family. Thanks again to my dear friend, Dr. Nadia Butt. We're going to see you all in 2 weeks on June 2nd. Nadia.
Be well.